last Friday, Mr. Scales, or as I call him, Captain Underpants, he did a thing arguing with the Batavia building. And I'm going to show that. I want to show that first. I'm going to play the whole thing. I thought about cutting it, just part of it. I want to play the whole thing. So you see, this is what he represented. He's a newsman, according to him, trusted news source. So I'm going to play that first. I'm going to play his first of his parts of his first rant against me of about 40 minutes of rants over the weekend. Then we're going to dig in and we're going to talk about the facts, and we'll talk about the animal shelter, and we'll talk about the K9, all that kind of stuff. But let's start with his rant in front of the Batavia building. What
is going on? It is Hood News 75. We are in Batavia, Ohio, in front of the Village of Batavia building. And I got some shit to say. And if you don't like my cursing, hey, hop off for a little bit because shit about to get real. They have an amazing officer that's been with them for 14 years at the Village of Batavia, named Officer Whitaker. He is a K9 handler that has had his dog for 4 years. Imagine you, there was somebody else that had the dog that moved up and, had more opportunities that had the dog for a previous 4 years, right? The Village of Batavia comes to Officer Whitaker like, hey, we want to give you a raise for 50 cents if you stay with us. Mr. Whitaker was like, hey, I think there's better opportunities.
Now, that's a lie. Whitaker came to them with that he had been offered a significant raise to go to Goshen Police. So what he just said was a lie. He came and said, hey, I got a better offer. And Whitaker negotiated that if they would promote him to corporal and give him a $1 raise, that he would stay at Batavia Village. That's how that went down. Not they came to him, whatever the hell he's talking about. It's just bullshit. So Whitaker got a better offer from Goshen. He negotiated that if they would give him a $1 an hour raise at Batavia, that he would stay in Batavia. That's the truth. He ended up reneging on that. You're going to hear or talk about the 50 cents. What's the 50 cents? Because he got promoted to corporal, which is what he wanted and what he negotiated, he had to wait for 6 months. You only get paid half of your raise during a promotion. So let's
opportunities for me and my dog. I'm gonna decline this officer. Imagine he's been with them for 14 years. And they said, oh, okay, since you want to do that, we're going to take your dog that we didn't pay for. We're going to take the dog's cage. We're going to donate the dog's food. We're going to take the money for vet fees and etc. for the dog. And you can have a good time. And then they put it on Batavia's page that they're hiring for a K9 officer because the officer that has been with them forever needed more money to provide.
So now, bullshit, the officer that was with them forever had an offer from another department that was significantly higher than the $1 an hour increase that he said he wanted at Batavia for being a corporal. So all this bullshit, all this colloquial, he had to feed his family, all that kind of stuff. He ended up going to the other department. But if he needed to feed his family, why did he then negotiate a $1 an hour raise? The guy wanted a promotion. This is all just, what happens when some guy thinks he's the news, doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, and goes out arguing with a building and ultimately loses in
family or whatever reasons. So y'all try to take his job away from him or whatever reason or whatever y'all trying to do with them, and y'all trying to take his dog, knowing that would do so much emotional damage to the dog, trying to find a new handler. Which I won't put y'all pride to the fucking side and be like, hey, you know what? The best of luck. You've been with us. You've done everything you can. Y'all have worked tirelessly here. These officers are overworked and not paid enough.
So this guy also doesn't appear to know that there's been a big scandal in this police department. Mr. Scales or Captain Underwear, that not all cops are good cops, and bad cops degrade the whole profession. One of those bad cops is Jim Young, who probably your source for the nonsense you're spouting. They love him, and we'll talk about that for a second. Jim Young is a pervert. He's a tit man. He would go around the community basically harassing women and talking about women's breasts to other cops, including talking about cops' breasts to other cops. That's just what the cop was there. Batavia Village Police Department, I think, is in a rebuilding now. They've gotten rid of, I don't really know, but I know that Jim Young was not a good cop. So he's talking about all this tireless work. And, it's just nonsense. He doesn't know anything about this department. I don't think he's ever been involved with real issues in the department, like the leadership of the department, some of the behaviors going on in the department, some of the misogynistic things. I don't know if Captain Underwear here, he's okay with people harassing women that are in uniform. That's okay with him, I guess. I don't know. But he clearly doesn't know what he's
Instead of being like, hey, you know what? Hey, congratulations. We'll see you. We hope you have a bright future. They're like, nah, we taking everything from you. Fuck you. And you can't speak about it. But
so this is also untrue because they actually negotiated a deal with him for the dog that he signed. He signed a deal for the dog. So the notion of they took it away from him, it's bullshit. This guy is a news.
But we can't.
Joke.
The community can't. I motherfucking will. I'm going to stand up for my first responders, my law enforcement every time. If they can't say nothing.
He'll stand up for bad cops every time. I don't stand up for bad cops. I stand up for good cops, and I'm for making sure we have good, high quality.
I'm not going to speak on it. I'm going to speak on it. Village of Batavia, fuck y'all. The officers here and the officers all around these areas, y'all do absolutely an amazing job, and I appreciate y'all so much. But this is unacceptable. To take the dog food away and the vet fees and all that for this man, and he been with y'all for 14 years? Fuck y'all.
So there you go. He flips off the building. What What a powerhouse news reporter this guy is. The last segment here of his rant from Saturday is about the canine and the dog stuff in Batavia.
For a fact, that officer was done wrong. I know for a fact Batavia took his dog away or tried to. They donated the dog food. They took the vet money and all that. So it ain't nothing that I'm not lying about.
They didn't take the dog away from him. He had an agreement to purchase the dog. So nobody took the dog away from him. It's bullshit.
Nothing. Everything that I say is facts. And you're trying to battle with me and tell me, oh, you need to learn the facts. I know the facts and I heard it from multiple people.
I wonder who those multiple people are, because none of them appear to be the people that would know the facts. You know, and I think I know where he got his facts from, and I'll cover that.
That wasn't their dog. That wasn't their dog. That dog was donated.
Okay, so Mr. Scales, when you're helping people and you donate something to them, is it not theirs? It's somebody else's? See, that's what a joke this is. The dog is property of Batavia Village. It doesn't matter if it was donated or they bought it or what. It's their property. The dog is actually not ready to retire. All these people running around saying, well, they have to let him have it for $1. No, when a dog's being retired, they have to do that. And the statute doesn't say anything about what age that is. So the notion that somebody took it, this horrible, ripped the dog out of his arms or something like this, is complete nonsense. There was a negotiated agreement that he signed for the dog. So it's a complete lie, complete distortion.
It wasn't their dog. The cage that dog got and the shit that dog got, it was from that dog sniffing out. It was from drug money. That dog sniffed drugs out. They took the fucking money and they got the dog the proper necessities for him to do his job properly.
Now, that's also bullshit, okay? So the cage, now there's some confusion around the cage. It was on loan. So he's like, they got the dog all the necessities by money from drug money. That's also not true. Did he do any fact checking? Any fact checking whatsoever? I saw, I'm going to throw this up here just because one comment right now. And anybody that knows me knows this is true. I follow both these two. One thing I know for a fact is Hicks don't speak without having all the facts, okay? I appreciate that comment because I pride myself on the facts. So the fact that this guy, Captain Underwear, doesn't understand that that's what I'm about. He thinks I want to be, I care about like followers and shit like this. I'm the most hated Republican man in the system in Claremont County because I'm constantly holding people to account. It's not about a popularity contest for me. It's about facts. In the Facebook page that I have, that ain't my life. My life is, how do I get crooked politicians out of office? How do I get campaign finance crooks prosecuted? That's what I focus on, not the shit that Mr. Scales focuses on, which is apparently wanting to become some famous YouTuber or something like that, or Facebook guy. So let's go through some of the detail of what actually happened to try to clear it up. So I already said the Whitaker guy was offered a much higher salary from another department. He negotiated with Batavia Village to stay there for $1 an hour and also get promoted to corporal. They only pay, when you get promoted a rank, you only get half the salary for the first 6 months. So he's going to get 50 cents an hour for 6 months. He negotiated this deal. Nothing was forced on him. Okay. He had another offer in hand, from what I understand. And then he didn't, he negotiated this deal to stay for $1 an hour. So that was kind of the sequence of events with that. Apparently at some point, I don't know all the details on it, but he reneged on the deal. I think he went to the other agency as well. Where does all this stuff come from, and where's it all coming from relating to Batavia? So I'm going to throw up some quick charts here. So first off, this thing called Signal 99. Signal 99 is it's like anything, might get some stuff right, might get it wrong, but it is a bunch of dirtbags that run an anonymous site. I tell you, I detest anonymous sites. Anonymous sites are how people hide their ulterior motives. And here, I mentioned earlier, Jim Young, the former chief. Jim Young was not a good cop. He had multiple issues in his career relating to sexual shit. At Batavia, there was a whole bunch of stuff. Whitaker was actually a witness against Jim Young because Jim Young made, I think, comments about Whitaker's wife's breast. Okay. He was always apparently making comments about breast. There's video of him grabbing the waitress's hair, getting into inappropriate text conversations and connections with women in the community, on and on. There's a 60-page report. But this Signal 99 defends Jim Young. And they claim that, oh, well, he wasn't charged and nothing happened. Anybody knows these kind of things. It's unfortunate. It shouldn't happen. It's like moving on a pedophile priest or something. Is that what happens is these guys get what's called the AB plan. You can resign, and go quietly, or you have to go forward with this. And a lot of governments, right, wrong, or indifferent, will go ahead and go along with that kind of AB plan because they don't want to deal with any potential legal fees, the headache of it. If the person will just go, we'll look the other way. And I don't like that, actually. I think cops, bad cops, unfortunately, I'm learning some bad cops move around. And in Claremont County, it appears that a lot of them end up in Owensville. We'll come back and talk about that in just a second because they defend Jim Young. Where did Jim Young go after leaving Batavia? Well, he got hired in Owensville by the highest, theoretically, the highest ranking law enforcement person in the entire county, Mike Freeman, who's the chief there. Guess who else is there? At a guy named Jay Manning. Jay Manning's one of the editors of Signal 99, along with a woman named Carolyn Adams that works at UC Health. This is what the research I've got so far. I'm still working it. I've contacted these people. I contacted Freeman. I have not gotten replies back from UC Health or from Freeman, but I'm going to prosecute this all the way because I hate this anonymous shit. These people are trying to protect a bad cop, and they got an axe to grind because Batavia Village got rid of bad cop Jim Young. Okay, so Batavia Village gets rid of bad cop Jim Young, and the Signal 99 is probably Captain Underwear's or Captain Underpants' source. Okay, so when I brought up that his story was all wrong, okay, there were significant gaps in his story. Signal 99 starts coming at me, okay, because the anonymous cowards behind Signal 99, they have to start, if somebody starts questioning something and exposing that maybe they gave this guy a bad or incomplete narrative, that they have to start, attacking them. So here is, by the way, the agreement that Whitaker signed for $1,500. My understanding is prior to this, there was a $2,000 agreement. So this whole notion of he was somehow abused, whatever, he signed an agreement. They negotiated an agreement. He signed it. Here it is. Okay. None of that was in Mr. Scales' rant in front of the argument with the building. None of that was in there. So just a lot of missing information relating to this. So what does, by the way, as the news tightens on this, and I start investigating the people that are behind this Signal 99 site, what happens? They start coming after me. Okay. They start making fun of my big, beautiful nose. Okay. They even have to Photoshop it. I guess it wasn't big enough. I always thought it was big enough. But that's the maturity we're talking about here. That is the maturity. And these people on Signal 99, one of them's just a dispatcher, which means they're not a cop, but one of them's a cop. Okay. So think about this. Just think about this when the cops hassle you or hassle a member of your family. What it means if you have cops that are running secret anonymous Facebook pages that try to influence public opinion for and against stuff involving cops. These people don't, or if they did it on their own name, I'd only do shit in my own name. If they did it in their own name, it would never fly. They'd be out of a job. So they should be doubly out of a job for doing this shit secretly. It's just to hide their ulterior motives because the people involved, this Jay Manning and Jim Young, got an axe to grind with Batavia Village. So they'll find useful idiot Captain Underpants to go out and cheer on, maybe through the Signal 99, to get this done. And then the news starts to tighten on all of it. And it's just extremely unfortunate. So the people that are involved with it, as far as I've determined at this point, is the Owensville Police Department. This is their. You got to love that it says professional integrity, fairness, okay, and Facebook pages, and UC Health, where this woman Carolyn Adams is a dispatcher. And I like I said, I've put calls in. I contacted Mike Freeman. I've contacted UC Health. I'm waiting for feedback, but I'm not gonna. I'm trying to be very careful with information. But none of these people have denied anything at this point in terms of what they did. And instead of addressing the issues that I'm raising, what does Signal 99 do? They mock me, make fun of my nose, Photoshop my nose. By the way, the picture in the middle, I was wearing a Trump hat. It was a joke picture because the Trump people are garbage people thing. And this was heading out to the polls wearing a garbage bag which was a lot of fun on election day. Helping the community. So that is deals with the dog issue.